At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI Net goes beyond industry standards, not only i3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
It is a new day for 911 professionals. They have gone from the most important person you will never see to the most vital piece of public safety. Truth be told, they always have been. The curtain has been pulled back, and they are sharing their stories. Welcome to Imagine Listening. Your worst day is our everyday, by Ricardo Martinez II, and narrated by myself, Ricardo Martinez II, and distributed by Beacon Audio Books. Copyright 2023. That's right, everyone. Finally, I can let everyone know the rumors are true. Imagine Listening, Your Worst Day is Our Everyday is now available as an audiobook on Audible, and it's a long time coming. Very excited. Not a lot of authors get the opportunity to voice their own book, but I had the honor and privilege to do so. So thank you to Beacon Audio Books, as well as my publisher, Titled Town Publishing, for everything, but especially all of you for making the I Am 911 movement, as well as Imagine Listening, what it is today. I appreciate you all more than you know. So go ahead, head out, stream it, download it, however you consume your audiobooks. Imagine Listening is now available. If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned. Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and this is going to be episode 525 of Within the Trenches, True Stories from the 911 Dispatchers Who Live Them. This episode is sponsored by InDigital, a leader next-gen core services, and a big shout-out to subscribers of the podcast, whether you are on Patreon, Facebook, or Circle. Thank you for everything, but especially all of you who watch, listen, share, support, all of it. Thank you so very much. This is going to be the second half of the Imagine Listening session that I did out at the Arkansas Conference, but this is going to be the lighter side of dispatch. This is going to be open mic, and you know what that means. This is going to be some of the lighthearted, funny stories of 911. And it's the first episode of the new year of 2024. Oh, shit. Welcome to 2024. 2023 was a great year. There was some shit that happened, as always, with anything in general. Shit happens, but you just continue on. You move forward and you evolve. And those that turn their back on you, well, turn your back on them as well. You continue moving forward. It's their loss, not yours. Remember that. So, motto for 2024. So, again, this is the open mic portion of that Imagine Listening session. So, there's going to be a lot of different stories that you hear in this one, and I'm excited for you to hear this, and I hope you enjoy. Without further ado, this is the open mic portion of the Imagine Listening session that was at the Arkansas Conference, and this is episode 525. Enjoy.
Dispatch. There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Ricardo of the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are here for Within the Trenches podcast, but this is going to be open mic because laughing is good medicine. We just went through a powerful and emotional Imagine listening session, but now we're here for the lighter side of dispatch. This will share all the funny shit that happens in 911. So, who has a story that they would like to start out with? Okay. There was somebody raising their hands. Okay, I was going to say, what?
Okay, so I'm not actually behind the console or the headset, but I'm the 911 coordinator in our county, and I do quality assurance. So I get to listen to all 911 calls that come through our center and basically grade them. And so one night, a call came in. I was listening to it the next day, and I listened to it 2 or 3 times thinking, can this be possibly real? Because this guy calls not 1 but 2 times to 911 because this is at 1 o'clock in the morning and this is in rural Arkansas, and most people, it's dead there. Everything closes at 9 o'clock besides Walmart at 11. So there's nothing going on at 1 o'clock in the morning unless it's bad. This guy's driving down this main road in our town, and he sees 2 dogs on the side of the road that are hung up. He calls 911, and the dispatcher is like, well, man, there's not a lot I can do. Well, I seen 2 cops sitting at Walmart, and I figured they could come help me. And he's like, well, that's really a natural process, and so we're not gonna really send anybody out there to take care of that. You just need to leave them alone and go on. Well, 20 minutes or so goes by, and he calls back. He goes, I got them unhung. I'm sitting on the side of the road petting them. So, and they're like, okay. So anyway, I'm not sure, but people call 911 for anything, and that's one of our stories.
Thank you. He got him unstuck. Oh my Lord. I can't even imagine. Can you imagine being the person who probably put that on YouTube or TikTok or something?
So my partner and I work day shift, and we start at 7 a.m., so it's rush hour traffic and all that good stuff. And we had a main highway that ran through town. And we started getting calls on a lady that was described as toothless, with headlamps on her head, and County stickers on her car, which if anybody knows what it is, it's kind of rural and known for their meth use. And she was throwing dildos at people driving down the road. Our community is also a retirement community, so it's a lot of elderly people. And one of the callers was an elderly lady, and she was laughing as she was reporting it, but then she says, my partner almost died. She almost hit the floor. She says, so that's the biggest dildo I've ever seen in my life, and it even has balls. It's stuck on my windshield. And she had to turn her windshield wipers on to get it off. And I got to dispatch my officers to go look for dildos up and down the highway. We didn't find any.
Oh, wow. Okay, so every time I've done this session in different conferences, there's always a first, and that one is one of the firsts.
I've done this for 25 years. I've never, ever taken a call like that in my life.
Whoa, this is a drive-by donging. That's crazy. That's freaking nuts. Oh, okay. So we've got some over there, and we've got one here as well.
I have 2 stories to tell, and I'm telling one of them because I worked with the person that one of the stories happened with. But there was one day, me and this other dispatcher were working, and we had a dispatcher that had just been cut loose, and we heard Hot Springs 911, and all of a sudden, the next phrase out of her mouth said, "You have a what on your porch? A monkey?" Me and the other coworker, our necks just about broke, and you could hear the wind from us turning and looking at her. And this woman was like, "Yes." And he's sitting in my chair, and I want him gone. Well, we were like, okay. And so I said, we knew that a facility that had animals wasn't that far from our house, and we knew that they had just gotten a baboon. And I said, "Is it a real monkey or is it a baboon?" She yelled loud enough to where I could hear her go, "I know the difference between a MF monkey and an MF baboon, and this is a monkey. Get someone here now." And the officer drove up, and luckily we got to see pictures, and he took pictures. And she had taken French fries, pizza, and orange slices out to him, and he was sitting in her chair still and had his leg crossed and just eating a piece of pizza.
It was real?
Yes. The second story is the other coworker that I was working with had an employee with one of our stores in town call and say that a man needed him to call 911 for him because he needed some help. So as my coworker, he wasn't on the same shift with me at the time, but he was talking to the employee, and he says, "Hey, ask him his name." I promise, without missing a beat, that man said, "D's nuts."
Go ahead, sir.
So this one happened, I was probably on the job maybe 3 months. So, still kind of clueless, kind of knew what I was doing. The 911 rings, pick it up, Garland County 911. And the guy goes, "I need some help." "Okay, sir, what's going on?" He goes, "Well, I was out in my front yard and I was talking to my neighbor, and I think the drugs kicked in and she's up in my tree." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "No, you heard me. She's up in my tree." "All right, sir, get help out to you." Dispatched the officer out there, and he's still there. He's a lieutenant now. He was a sergeant then. He's an old crusty guy. Y'all know the type. He gets on scene 107, I'm 97. And about 2 seconds pass, and I can picture him stepping out of his unit and looking up. Because the very next thing you hear is 107, 7, go ahead. "Yep, she's way up there. Send me the fire department." Send a ladder truck. They get on scene. Everybody goes back in service. Give him a call. "Yeah, she was up there." "What? Really?" "Yeah, she was up there. About 40 foot up in this man's tree."
What the hell?
Meth.
Meth?
Meth.
That's methed up, okay. Yeah, I know. I got to throw in a dad joke.
So we get a call, actually 27 calls about some random guy is walking the freeway, just trying to go through it. And one of the calls I get is this lady calling in trying to be very HR appropriate. And she says, "Sir, there is an African American male butt-ass naked on the freeway, and he's just dangling." He ended up being on PCP, and it was a fun day.
Okay, this isn't my story. I'm a supervisor, so I have a lot of horrible stories and great stories. However, one of the best dispatchers I've ever worked with, who is no longer in the dispatch industry because it just became too much for him. We had just become CPR certified, where we EMD'd at that time, and we were kind of gung-ho on ourselves about how great we were. And he got a call, and this guy said, "My roommate's on the couch, not breathing," and he goes through all the steps, all the questions, giving CPR, way out in our county, so it takes a long time for a code 3 response, like 15, 20 minutes. We're out there, and he's like been going this whole time. He is way up in numbers on count. We're trying to support him through it all. You know, keep going, you got it. And he's being supportive to the caller. And, you know, well, we get out there, and the sheriff calls in on the radio, and he said, "There's nobody." He's giving CPR to the couch. So that's just a few things that happen.
So this is something that I did that was stupid. When I first started, it was like my first week in dispatch training. You know, they beat it in my head, always give suspect information, always give weapon description, always, always, always. And one of the ways that our agency would trip you up is they would put things in the call notes and see if you would read your notes before you actually said it. I'm sure everyone's had a moment. Well, I did. It was a disturbance that I was dispatching, and I gave the suspect information, and as I'm reading the suspect information, I'm looking, trying to scan my thing for the weapon, and without even thinking about it, just came out of my mouth. Suspect's gonna be a white male, such and such description, armed with a burrito. And then I heard myself say that, and I went, wait a minute, burrito, what? And so about that time, officer's like, Central, I'm gonna need you to describe that burrito to me. And it was in the notes. So I told him it was an XXL frozen burrito, bean and cheese. And he asked, so I told him. And when I came to work the next day, I had a lot of bean burritos.
Yes! Awesome. Very cool. This is the part that I love. I love the open mic part of this. All right. So I'm going to finish it off here with a story of mine, and then you'll be able to go to lunch and everything else. But again, thank you all for being here, for the job that you do, and for these stories. And damn, like I said, it takes one story for them to all go downhill. And you started it, and it just continued going. Thank you. That was awesome. That was really good. All right. So let me share this story with you. It's funny what you brought up, because something similar. So this was a night shift, okay, that I was, and some of you may have heard this story, some of you may have not. Sarah, I think maybe you know what I'm about to say. So it was midnight shift that I was going for. Now this is when I worked in Central Dispatch back in Southwest Michigan, and we did 3 12s and a 4. They do 8 hours now. They're in the same shift and everything as the deputies. But that 4 hour, it was always on a Wednesday. And I was going in for 1A to 5A. And I'm headed into dispatch, kind of groggy, whatever. I got to stop at the gas station. Stopping at the gas station to get something to eat and something to drink. So I go in, and I get something to drink. I get myself a 12-ounce Red Bull. So I got to stay awake. I needed an energy drink. I see you with your head. You're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then I'm looking for something to eat, and I find something. And it was a gas station burrito. Yes, it was a gas station burrito. It was called the Red Bomb. It was a bomb burrito, yes. I didn't know that was going to be my future, but I end up going into dispatch. I get there early enough so I can warm up the burrito and everything and eat it and stuff. I thought I was going to be on backup phones and radios. No, my ass ended up being on main phones. I was like, all right, that's fine. I'm the supervisor on duty, but I'll just go ahead and I'll work phones. It's fine. So I get over there, I get briefed and everything. I sit down, I destroy that burrito. It was amazing. It was super good. Now also, Red Bomb, this is the spicy one, okay? And I destroyed that Red Bull as well. So I'm ready to go. I'm like, yeah, bring it on. Whatever comes in, let's do this. Phone call comes in. And it's, depending on where you're at, it's either BOL or BOLO. It's the same shit. It's the same thing. Be on the lookout, right? So I get this phone call. It's the county south of us. They have someone that they're chasing, and it's going to be coming into our county soon. So I start typing, right? We're putting it out there. And then I get this weird feeling in my stomach. And I'm thinking, hell no, this is not happening right now. Like, are you serious? I start getting this bubble gut, okay? My stomach is talking to me. And in my head, I'm freaking out. Like, I'm sweating while I'm sitting over there. Now, I'm by myself on that other side, but if anybody was over there at the time, they could probably smell, like through the sweat, like they could probably smell like beef, because that's how bad I was sweating. It was horrible. And I'd already sent my coworkers messages saying, if I have to get up and run down the hall, take over the call. Because I don't know about your dispatch centers, but the dispatch center that I was in at the time, there's a bathroom inside the center, right? And I wasn't about to drop heat there with my coworkers. No. And right, yes. And there's a bathroom down the hallway. So I can no longer hold it. I can't take it anymore. So I put them on hold really quick and I stand up and I say, you guys got to take the call. And I haul ass running fast enough that you can see smoke, hopefully smoke, not anything else, right? I go over there, do my thing, and I come back and I'm like, okay, I'll take the call back. So I'm sitting there still with them, right? And again, my stomach starts bubbling, and I'm like, why? Why is this happening right now? Well, obviously I know why, because I ate a gas station burrito and I had an energy drink. So it happens again. Now, sequels. Sequels are the worst, right? Well, in the shit world, it's the same. It's bad. And I don't know if you've ever tried to hold in gas, but it like goes up and turns into like a back fart, and it's not good. So I'm freaking out over there. In my head, as I'm taking the call, in my head, I'm thinking, please stay together. Just stay together. We can do this. And then I'll run down the hall. I put him on hold, and I stand up again, and my buddy stands up at the same time, and he's like, you got to poop, dude? And I was like, it's not a warrant. You don't got to confirm it. But yes, I do. I do. I do have to. So I go running again, do my thing, and I come back, okay? I come back, and no one's on the phone anymore. And I'm like, yes, I made it. It's over. Well, then the phone call comes in. It's the same people. So this person was going into the county and like coming back out, and he kept going back and forth, and all I could think was, throw the stop sticks down, take the person out. I'm going through my own shit right now, literally. Take the person out. So now, this third time, what I call my trilogy of poo, there's no way that I'm going to make it down anymore. And I put them on hold, and I said, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to go right here. And they're like, what? I said, no, not right here. Not right here where I'm at. I'm going to use this bathroom that's right here. And they're laughing, and I'm not happy. So I go into the bathroom, right? I turn on the fan. I turn on the water. Anything to mask the hell I'm about to go into. Because if you've ever watched Dumb and Dumber, you know exactly what was going to happen. I was going to be in there screaming for my life. So I do my thing and I come out. My coworkers are laughing. Now again, I said I was a supervisor on duty, and I told them, I was like, go ahead, continue laughing. I'm going to turn the heat up so that you can smell it. Which I didn't. So years later, I'm out of dispatch. I'm with my family. We're going to Washington State for vacation. We stop in Montana, okay? We're in the gas station, and I'm just minding my own business, walking through, and I get this weird yet familiar twitch. I was like, what the hell? And I turn around, and I swear, there's a cooler with Red Bomb burritos next to a display of Red Bull, and all I could think was, screw you, Montana. That's my story.
And there you have it. Episode 525 of Within the Trenches. And again, that was an open mic session that was part of the Imagine Listening session that was at the 2023 Arkansas Conference. But a great way to start 2024 with humor, because I'm a firm believer that laughing is good medicine. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, thank you to everyone at the Arkansas Conference for having me there, but also for all of the attendees for being there, sharing your stories, whether it was during Imagine Listening, but also an open mic, and just all the connections that I made with everyone there. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you more than you know. So here is to a great 2024. I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff coming, so keep an eye out for it. For this episode, we've been sponsored as always, by InDigital, a leader next gen core services. Big shout out to subscribers of the podcast, as always. And if you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the flagship show, you can email us, and that is going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media. You can become a supporter of the podcast. All of this you can easily do on links.co/WTT podcast. And once again, that is links.co/WTT podcast. You can find everything on there, all of my social media, email, where to book or schedule an episode to be a guest, where to listen to the latest episode of the podcast. You can purchase Imagine Listening. You can pre-order book number 2, and you can also go there for a link to merchandise, podcast merchandise, dispatch merchandise, all of it you can find at links with 2eyes.co/WTT podcast. And again, thank you all very much. Looking forward to 2024 and just bringing you some amazing content to learn from and just so much more. So again, keep an eye out for that. And this can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, as well as X and LinkedIn Live. And then you can listen 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and within the trenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. And we'll see you in the next one.